A few more handy-dandy trig ratios to talk about, and these are known as your reciprocal ratios. So when we see cotangent, cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So if we are thinking about our SOHCAHTOA, cotangent just allows us to take the reciprocal of tangent, which will be our, instead of opposite over adjacent, it's going to be our adjacent over opposite. The secant is actually the reciprocal of 1 over cosine. So instead of cosine being adjacent over hypotenuse, it's now hypotenuse over adjacent. Cosecant is 1 over sine, and instead of now sine being our opposite over hypotenuse, this ratio is our hypotenuse over our opposite. Just a few more that'll come up again when you take calculus next year. So let's go ahead and find some of these trig ratios. Well, the cotangent of 45 degrees, we know that from our special triangle. So cotangent is the same as 1 over the tangent of 45 degrees. Or if you want to think about it, it's adjacent over hypotenuse. Let's draw our special triangle here, our 45, 45, 90, with a 1, 1, root 2. And if it's adjacent over opposite, well, that still ends up giving us the value of just 1. Let's move over here to secant of 120. Secant is the same as 1 over cosine of 120 degrees. And if we'd like, we can think about that as being our hypotenuse over our adjacent. But because we don't have one of our special triangle angles, we need to talk about location. So the location of 120 degrees is here, and this is all students take calculus. And since we're looking at the cosine, we know that our cosine or our x value is going to be a negative solution. So this answer is going to be negative. That's our first step. Our second step is determining our reference angle, which 120 degrees is 60 degrees away from 180. So our reference angle is 60 degrees. We can draw our special triangle, our 30, 60, 90. We have opposite leg 3, 1, and 2. And since we're looking at hypotenuse over adjacent, hypotenuse over adjacent, we have 2 over 1, or just 2. Moving on down here to our, oops, sorry about that. Let's see if we can get back to where we need to be. Okay, moving down here to our cotangent of 7 pi by 4. Remember cotangent again just being 1 over the tangent of 7 pi by 4. And that cotangent also being adjacent over opposite. So we'll start off by finding the location of 7 pi by 4. All the way around the circle twice is 8 pi by 4. So here is our 7 pi by 4, one short. All students take calculus, so that means our ratio, because it's tangent, is going to be a negative solution. So we'll go ahead and start off by putting in a negative. Reference angle being pi by 4. And looking back at our pi by 4 special triangle, which is our 45, 45, 90, the adjacent to pi by 4 is 1 and opposite is 1. So our answer is just negative 1. And the last one is cosecant of 2 pi by 3. Cosecant we know is the same as 1 over the sine of 2 pi by 3. And that also could be known as your hypotenuse over your opposite. Sorry, I'm getting a little messy here. Let's see. We need to find out the location of 2 pi by 3. That would be right here. So all students, that means we're going to have a positive answer. Then we need to find our reference angle. Try to switch the colors to the reference angle is a pi by 3, which comes from our 30, 60, 90. Pi by 3 is the larger one, and since we're looking at hypotenuse, that would be 2 over our opposite, which is root 3. We have to rationalize that there. So multiply by root 3 over root 3, and we get a final answer here, 2 root 3 over 3. I'm going to highlight that because it got quite messy. That's it for today.